please consider supporting our authors this evening. They all have new books out that are available at the cafe. We will have a signing afterwards with all three authors, so please consider purchasing their books. Every purchase helps support the bookstore, the authors, and this event series. But at this time, it is my honor to introduce our first reader and author this evening, Jamie Beth Cohen. Jamie Beth Cohen is a writer, storyteller, and worker bee who has done many things in order to feed and clothe herself and her family, but none as enjoyable as scooping ice cream in the summer of 1993 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's the author of the Alice Burton novels Wasted Pretty and Liminal Summer, and her words have appeared in HuffPost, The Washington Post, Salon, and many other outlets, including SFWP Quarterly. In 2021, she was named Best Storyteller in Lancaster, and she is currently working on a memoir about her complicated father, their layered relationship, and his unexplained death. When she's not writing, reading, working, or spending time with her family, she can be found mentoring incarcerated writers and novice storytellers. I've got to read just two quick blurbs about Jamie Beth's books. Amy Salter writes about Wasted Pretty that it's, quote, every girl's dream and every girl's nightmare rolled into one. You won't be able to put it down. And Jenny Block writes about Liminal Summer that it was the balm for my tortured youth I didn't even know I craved, end quote. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Jamie Beth Cohen to the stage.
Super short here. Can you, no, I did exactly what you told me not to do. Is that possible? Because truth be told, I was not paying attention when I told you I was paying attention. No, can you see me? But now I can't see my, okay. Can you still see me? Hi, thanks for being here. I hope you didn't get too wet on your way here. So first and foremost, a few thank yous. I want to thank Alex and Midtown Scholar for inviting me here tonight. I love this bookstore. And from the day I met Alex, he's been nothing but kind, engaging, and supportive of my work and a champion for authors and readers everywhere. Which brings me to my second set of thank yous. I want to thank Monica and Tara, the writers I get to share the stage with tonight. It's honestly a dream come true. I actually told them that I would read to an empty room with just the two of them in it, but you all came anyway, which is cool. I'm not someone who believes that writing is a solitary act. I like to write in public spaces because I feed off the energy of the humans around me, and I believe in community. Tara and Monica are two writers who I'm thrilled are in our Central PA writing community, and who I'm even more thrilled to call friends and mentors. And lastly, thanks to my husband and kids. This week, we sold our house in the burbs and moved into a lovely place in Lancaster City. And frankly, I'm not sure how I'm even standing up at the moment. I did find my underwear, though, so that was super exciting after a very scary 18 hours without it. But to the extent that I am standing, it's due to my husband's hard work and my family's understanding during a very stressful and exciting time. Okay, so now for the words. My first novel, Wasted Pretty, is a sex-positive upper YA coming-of-age story set in 1990s Pittsburgh. It's about Alice Burton, a 16-year-old girl who has just become interested in dating when she is sexually assaulted by a friend of her father's. She spends the book working through the complicated feelings related to the confluence of these events, which sadly is a pretty typical confluence of events. Liminal Summer is the sequel to Wasted Pretty, and it picks up 5 years later when Alice is 21 and has just graduated from Penn State. I'm going to read a short bit from chapter 4 of Liminal Summer. And I think all you need to know to understand this section is that Meredith is Alice's very wealthy best friend. Nate is Alice's brother, and Chris Thompson is her very complicated ex. She also works at a place called Rod's Records with a girl named Cassie and drinks at a bar called The Hook. So this is chapter 4. And if you've ever been to State College, which many of you probably have, you might recognize some of this. Campus is pretty quiet, as is the neighborhood behind College Avenue. Being in town while classes aren't in session is magical. I feel bad for my friends who've never spent a summer here. They think they know the town. They even think they love the town, But only seeing State College during the school year and thinking you know what it's all about is like only seeing me at the Hook and thinking I'm just a drunk party girl who flirts a lot. You'd never know there's this other super overachieving side of me after the hangover wears off. I know I can't stay here forever. I don't even want to, but I can already feel in every inch of my body and every fiber of my being how much I'm going to miss this place. At my brother's, a pale yellow sticky note hangs at eye level between the screen door and the heavy wooden door. My brother's rushed scrawl reads, "Listen to the messages and deal with your mail." Nate never resorts to sticky notes unless he's really pissed off. But I have more important things to do. I grab the cordless, page Meredith, and turn on every fan in the house while I wait for her to call back. Imagine this weather, right? Yeah. Thankfully, she's quick about it. "What's up, chicken?" she asks. "Hey, do you have a few minutes?" "For you?" "Always," she slurs. "You're drunk. It's like 2:00. It's also the Friday before Memorial Day and I'm in the Hamptons. So yeah. Right. I forgot. I left you a message yesterday right before I left. Oh, sorry. I haven't checked messages. "We need to get you a cell phone," she says. "Want me to get you a cell phone?" Meredith believes money can fix everything. And while she's always generous, she's more so when she's drunk. "Thanks. No, I don't need a cell phone. And as much as I'd love to wait to talk to you when you're in a more sober place, I need to talk to you right now. Can you focus, please?" This sounds serious. Let me get inside. I imagine her barefoot with a bathing suit and a sarong, padding from a picture-perfect deck overlooking the ocean to a picture-perfect living room overlooking the deck, while I just head up to my room with its twin bed and desk fan. "Okay," she says, "what's up?" "Well, it's about Chris Thompson." She lets out an exaggerated sigh. "No, it's been 362 days since the last mention of Chris Thompson. Why? Shut up. And please tell me you don't actually keep track." "I don't, but I'm thinking it's been about a year and I was sort of hoping if we made it to a full 365 days, he'd be out of your system for good." "Hilarious," I say. "I know you really wanted some sort of closure," she says, "and to rub it in his face that you survived and thrived without him. But please, can we agree no talk of Chris Thompson anymore? We've graduated. We're supposed to be adults or something." "He's here," I say. "He's where?" she asks. "He's in State College. He's playing the Hook tonight. He's doing an in-store show at Rod's tomorrow. He's here." Oh, this is serious. It's like I can hear her sobering up through the phone. "Are you sure? Have you seen him?" "Yes, I'm sure. And no, I haven't seen him. Johnny called to tell me. And Cassie said something about the in-store this morning. I just didn't realize Chris was in the band she was talking about. They changed their name. They have songs and a bunch of commercials right now." "Oh, did they do the song in the Sprite commercial and the Saturn one? They are so good. I knew they were by the same people." "I don't know which commercials. So not the point, Meredith." "Sorry, right. Okay. But this is what you've always wanted, right?" "What is?" "Closure." Sometimes I don't know what I want until Meredith tells me what it is. But once she says it, I know she's right. "Right. Yeah. Closure." Oh, no. "What?" "Oh, God, you don't want closure. You want him." "I don't know. Is that what this feeling is?" "Describe it," she commands. I can't describe it. I can only remember what it was like to be alone with him. And I can't talk to Meredith about that because she never liked him. "Alice?" Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I just know I like how it feels when he looks at me." "No, you liked how it felt when he looked at you 5 years ago. You know he's an ass and you can't trust him, But I'm all for closure. So if he's still hot, and only if he's still hot, just fuck him and be done with it. Please. And then we really never have to speak his name again. Do you think it's that easy? What? Fucking? I do think it's that easy. He's a musician on tour. Isn't fucking why they go on tour? No, I mean closure. You think closure's that easy? Like we fuck and that's it? I certainly hope so, she says, because if you fall for him, I predict disaster. And the rest of Liminal Summer follows the potential impending disaster. So buy my book. Just make sure you have Monica sitting next to you while you're reading it so you can hear all the her laughing. All right, we're going to switch gears now. I'm going to read a short piece called How He Died. Initially, I wrote a draft of this piece for a Midtown Scholar Fear No Lit event in Lancaster, supporting the launch of Bassie Ickby's essay collection. I'm telling the truth, but I'm lying. The theme of the event was truth and lies. Then, a month after that, I met Monica at a Barrel House conference in Pittsburgh, and she offered to publish it in Santa Fe Writers Project Quarterly on the spot. Now, nearly 4 years later, which isn't to say she didn't help make it better. She offered to publish it and then she made it better and then it was published. And now nearly 4 years later, I'm working on my forthcoming memoir that expands on this piece, the book length project. My first memoir should be out in 2025. This flash piece is called How He Died. This is what I know. August. He tells the nurse who lives next door that the strange gash above and behind his right ear is from falling in the night. Disoriented and tangled in the sheets, he hit his head on a piece of furniture. But he has slept in that room for more than 30 years, and I was raised on a steady diet of police procedurals ripped from the headlines. I know a hesitation wound when I see one. The swollen, reddish, purpley mark on his bald head is a precise straight line. September. I secretly remove my dad's gun from his closet when I visit my childhood home over Labor Day. I hide it overnight in a planter in the living room. My brother checks for a serial number the next morning and then throws it in the river. October. The ambulance driver gets in through a window and finds him on the bathroom floor, head bloodied. This time he says he fell because he was confused by the layout of the new apartment, but he has already told me about the recent break-in. Nothing was taken, but someone was looking for something, and I know there's a shaky lock on the back door. It's why I refused to stay the night the last time I was in town. My dad owes a lot of people money. My dad's boss is under investigation. My dad thinks I believe whatever he tells me. November. He's been in the hospital since the morning with the ambulance driver. The doctors suspect normal pressure hydrocephalus. It's the shuffling of his feet and his unsteady gait. It's his cloudy mind. Or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, the human version of mad cow. But they can't confirm the diagnosis because of complicating factors. There's the brain bleed from his last fall. He's contracted E. coli during his stay. There are seizures now too. December. My dad is in a medically induced coma following 2 brain surgeries, one planned, one not. He dies when we shut off the machines, December 9, 2005. But that is a technicality. The machines were merely approximating lifelike functions. The ones they had told me in school were supposed to be autonomic. The obituary, written by a local journalist, says my dad died of complications following surgery. March. The letter from the hospital is addressed to me. It says, "Thank you for allowing us to autopsy your loved one. Insert name." I have doubts about an office that cannot complete a proper mail merge, but I read on. There is nothing conclusive in the report. A lifetime of watching Law and Order reruns has not prepared me for an inconclusive autopsy. April. The death certificate I present to close his bank account lists the cause of death as accidental. It says nothing of the break-in, the seizures, the unconfirmed diagnoses, the E. coli he couldn't shake, the depression no one talked about. No one says the word addiction. No one says the word suicide. No one says murder. Have you ever asked me how my dad died? What did I tell you? Was it a lie? So thank you so much for your attention and your energy tonight. It's now my great honor and pleasure to introduce my friend Tara, who actually I would have mispronounced her name if Alex hadn't said it first. I never noticed the second I in Stillions. Tara, do I still have to call you a friend? Like I don't know how to pronounce your name. Tara Stillions Whitehead is a filmmaker and the author of Blood Histories, Galileo Press 2021, The Year of the Monster, Unsolicited Press 2022, and most recently, They More Than Burned, ELJ editions 2023. 22, 23. She has a full-time job and she just closed on a house. About to close on a house. Nominated for the 2022 Aspen Words Award and Maya Angelou Award in Fiction. Whitehead's work was included in Wigleaf Top 50 in both 2021 and 2022 and was selected as notable in Best American Essays 2022, edited by Alexander Chi. She is an assistant professor of film, video, and digital media production at Messiah University in Mechanicsburg, PA. And while Tara and I have both lived in Los Angeles, it was my great pleasure to introduce her to Rachel's Crepes in Lancaster, where I've also introduced Monica to Rachel's Crepes. So if you're ever in Lancaster, let's go to Rachel's and get crepes.
I feel like such an adult after that introduction. Hi guys. Thanks. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me okay? No, you can't hear me. Okay. You would think working in sound that I would know. Holy yeah. It's because Jamie touched it. That's why. Can you hear me now? Okay, yeah. Thanks to Alex, who, by the way, Midtown Scholar, I don't know if you know, you probably know, is Publishers Weekly's Bookstore of the Year for 2023. And I don't think in any small part due to Alex here, who has been such a champion of authors and presses of all degrees. And just thank you. And thank you to Jamie. Your reading was awesome and your introduction. And Monica, congratulations. I can't wait to hear you. So They More Than Burned was released 3 months ago by ELJ. It's, Jamie was just asking me before, this isn't classified as this fiction, nonfiction drama. So it falls into the multi-genre category of nonfiction drama. They say drama, but it's screenplay. So about 60% of the book is written in screenplay format. And the other 40% is written in prose, which is a combination of creative nonfiction and speculative memoir. And so, yeah, so the screenplay pieces are a little bit difficult to read. I may enlist Jamie to help me with 1 or 2 of them. I'm going to start off with a prose piece. If I have found it. I went a little too far, sorry. I had them marked and then I got confused. So the prose piece I'm going to read is called When the Alcoholic Falls from the Sky, and it was originally published in the McNeese Review. When the alcoholic falls from the sky, there's no equation for calculating where she will land, because in every story but this one, she never does. When the time comes to surrender, it won't feel like rock bottom, because in the end, it's not about the rock or the bottom. Death has no altitude. Instead, it will feel like another long drive home. It will feel like a balloon that can hold more air. Like if you could just turn yourself inside out, there you will finally be. I am 2 months sober when the first snow falls. I meet strangers in night churches and witness testimonies about lifted obsession. I eat the candy and cry into the coffee. I don't tell anyone that I'm afraid that obsession is all that I have. Stay in the middle of the herd, Steve M. says one night, pulling a wallet from his back pocket. He's wearing an Akuba cattleman hat and aviators and doesn't crowd me the way that the other men in these rooms have. From a bundle of cards secured with a rubber band, he offers me a hand-drawn picture of a buffalo near a mesa. Some are grazing, some are frolicking. I don't know if buffalo frolic, do they? And some are, by all obvious artistic intentions, lost. As I shove a pouch of M&Ms into my mouth, Steve hands me a figurine, a little buffalo, and points to the bottom of the drawing where a solitary brown splotch wanders near an uncertain scribble labeled cliff. You find yourself here, you call someone who can help you get back to the herd. If no one answers, you put the little buffalo, under your tongue so you can't talk yourself into anything stupid. I fell 18,000 feet and I still needed more. Codeine, cocaine, Klonopin, cooking sherry, Listerine, and Coricidin, and only another alcoholic can understand. If I had known that the last drink would be my last, I never would have stopped. And when a helicopter falls from the sky in the night 3 streets away from our Cape Cod, no one is there to see it except God. Nothing is there to stop it except the jungle gym and the sugar maple, some half-bloomed matchsticks of goldenrod. I'm in a bed that isn't mine, dreaming that I am on the wrong flight to Alaska, the empty fuselage hydraulicking over Saskatchewan. I'm drunk and I'm standing the flight attendant and his tiny bottles of Crown Royal. Like all drunk dreams, I'm using with the intent to fuck someone. And I tell the attendant that if we're gonna die, I need him to come inside of me first. Dream drinking is not unlike real drinking. In both, obsession and excess unite, blaze, and flash over. The cabin lights flicker. The flight attendant abandons his cart and takes me across a row of empty seats. He tells me the turbulence scares him, so I pull him all the way inside of me like a secret, and I explain to him that we will be transcending the darkness soon. That we are flying so fast, we are silencing the sound before it can catch us. The orgasm wakes me up, and the bed sheets are soaked like they used to be. I get up before the kids and I run 7 miles through the fog, unsure if I'm still sober. At mile 2, I find the propeller in a ditch where I used to dump my bottles in neatly tied grocery bags. At mile 3, I find the smaller than expected exoskeleton emptied of its passengers. And at mile 5, I'm convinced that I'm drunk still, and the attendant is still inside of me, and that shame is a prophecy. Google things falling from the sky and you can frighten your obsession into distraction. Boiled bats, venison, spiders, suitcases, starfish, baby shoes, blood oranges, needles, and tree frogs. I'm not so much afraid to fly as I am to fall. Physics promises us that everything, even clouds, come back to Earth. All bodies have a terminal velocity. Nothing escapes physics except God and black holes and maybe a little bit of the devil. When a 2014 Jetta falls from the sky, downing 2 telephone poles and leveling several cement mailboxes, I am asleep in a bed that isn't mine, dreamless. I'm expecting lightning when I descend the stairs and emerge barefoot into the asphalt darkness. At first, the capsized vehicle in a constellation of picket fencing and windshield glass looks like every car that I've ever owned. But as I move closer, I can see that I'm not the one at fault this time. One neighbor is picking up pieces of mailbox from 4 houses down, and I approach a heavyset man in a monocored shirt bending over the driver's side window. With the street lights out, it's so dark I can't see who's inside. Are they okay? I whisper, thinking that he is real, thinking that I'm not dreaming. The man looks at me confused, as if I'm a cloud to be passed through. And though I've never seen him before, I know who he is, that there is no one inside of that car, and that he is still falling. The electricity is out when I get home, and everyone is still asleep. I salivate and think that maybe I am too. I don't know. By the light of my phone, I dig through all the shit in my steel case desk: candy wrappers, mini DV tapes, safety pins, shot glasses, phone chargers, photos, and air fresheners, until I find that tiny buffalo that Steve M gave me. And I place it under my tongue, and it tastes like royal pine and sheet metal, the latex hard but clinical. I say fall, and it comes out fool. I say shit, and it comes out sit. Fool, sit. Because I know what happens when I don't follow directions. I drop to the floor, and I wrangle that tiny buffalo with my tongue, and I count and recount its stubborn legs as I turn my body into a human airstrip, and I wait for the ceiling to crack open and for Grace to make its emergency landing. No, I don't know if I want to go heavier with you being my censor over there. I'm talking to Jamie, sorry. I have to acknowledge that the WGA is on strike. And while I'm not in the WGA, I'm in the DGA. So I'm not technically like violating anything. Solidarity to the WGA. Having worked in Hollywood. And a lot of the book is about that. And it's funny because when I read it, I don't read a whole lot of the stuff because it's mostly written in screenplay format. I kind of want to try to read this piece. So Jamie's going to help me. She's going to be my censor bleep. Because, hey, why not? Like, let's try something new. Okay. So it starts, and do your best. Don't worry. I'm not going to, this is not like an, no, I'm just like, this is not an audition. I'm asking for a digital bleep. It starts on 122. And just interrupt me wherever you see the bleep. Make it as long or short as you need.
Test it.
Perfect. Yes, exactly. Okay. So this piece has been redacted. That's why it's called redacted. It originally appeared in a really, really different form in JMWW that Hannah Greco had published. And we're going to just see how this goes. So redacted. They ask for the truth, and when it comes, they're prepared to eradicate it. Sharpie in one hand, duct tape in the other, tasers and roofies in the cup holders of their electric cars. When it comes to truth telling, they've got a dozen lawyers on retainer, cash payoffs ready in the pipeline. I never saw fucking boys behind the trailer like
Beep.
documentary said. To be honest, I didn't see much of
Beep.
when he wasn't on set. When I was running color pages from the writer's room down to the department heads, he was either chain smoking near the elephant door or choreographing punchlines with beep, beep in rehearsals. That doesn't mean the stories aren't true. Some stories are more believable before you've seen the footage. It sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes bringing a story to life can make it disappear. I know the exact places where erasure hurts most. You smile at me over the top of your lidless paper coffee cup. The steam's curly marginalia annotates your lips. Do you ever wonder what could have been if you had just let it happen? I was long gone by the time Beep grew out of his baby cheeks and got baptized in that by that YouTube pastor. I got drunk and crashed my Forerunner the season Hollywood flatlined, the last Hollywood strike, 2007, 2008. Side note is Same horrible people creating new horrible shows. Who thought Chuck Lorre and Charlie Sheen were going to get back together? Oh man, I didn't even redact that part.
Beep.
Fuck. Oh, his name's in here. We didn't redact this for. Crashed my forerunner this season that Hollywood flatlined and stopped filming, and Sheen went to rehab. I wanted to go back to assistant directing. I stepped foot on a soundstage and I pivoted. I was too suicidal to work. And by the time
Beep.
negotiated $700,000 per episode for
Beep.
to join season 9, I was 2,900 miles away, attempting to redraw the parts of myself that had been erased. I had a daughter and a haunted closet full of
Beep.
paper jokes, likely worth millions of dollars per page. When I couldn't recreate what I'd lost, I started anesthetizing my amputations with bottles I kept in the center console, behind paint cans in the unfinished mudroom. I didn't know yet that some laughter doesn't require shedding blood, and that phantom limbs can ache like a rotten tooth.
Beep. 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 Beep.
You're doing great.
Not an audition.
Not an audition, so there will be no notes afterwards. The producer that I slept with when I lived in Little Armenia sends a selfie from the top of Grunion Canyon. The electrician that I let call the shots once when I was sleep-deprived assistant director sends pictures of his penis. And the AD who threw radios at me when the batteries died, who I caught fondling former Miss Universe
Beep.
in an overheated tube banger, tries to dispute my IMDb credits when they go through verification. My mother keeps the signed Time magazine with Platoon on the cover in a locked drawer. I don't tell her that he was high when he signed it. I know how much that issue means to her. We both know what it's like to be forced out of a dream. 2,
Beep.
an oldie but a goodie. Thanks for the reminder. And I've kept things too. I've built an archive of regret. I've framed pictures, laminated script drafts, made screenshots of all of the emails. If possession of the truth is a crime, then book me for a felony with the intent to distribute. I refuse to let them get the last laugh. I refuse to lose anything else. I lost a child before it became a child. I lost a mother before I became a woman. I lost a childhood before I became a mother, and I'll never stop missing what has been taken from me.
Beep.
Do you know how many times a day Beep touched my thigh in Video Village? How much porn
Beep.
bought and delivered to the EP on the daily? How often did
Beep.
laugh at the women trembling before the casting couch? Would Bob Dylan care that the man who wrote his liner notes trapped me in his house and threatened me against the deadbolt? Why didn't
Beep.
the VP of HR respond to those emails I forwarded? The ones where he said he couldn't believe what he had done and that he couldn't live without me. And how did 2 recovering alcoholics land a multi-million-dollar sitcom deal about a rapey white millionaire in active addiction? Why did it sell so damn well? When does a story about being sick start to feel good? What is the real cost of another drink? Who suffers the most? Where does pain go when the body is too full of suffering? Ask who is responsible. Ask why we pull down the stars and emblazon them with these names. Ask how to hold evil accountable, at whose expense we let it entertain us, and ask for the exact cost of a laugh, because I know that cost. Answer: rampant, unpoliced complicity.
Beep.
Is in black jeans, seated on the coffin-shaped Parnian. A sick and bloodless LA pulses through the window behind him in this executive office on the 7th floor of the Burbank building. The Stratocaster shreds when he is done berating his show's writers for weak tags and soggy cold opens, is plugged in and humming. And every time I see it, I think about him dropping out of college and working his way up from nothing through the back door of animation and writing and recording theme songs for popular cartoons like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How does a child's laughter turn into bloodlust? I tell
Beep.
what happened, and I omit nothing. I show him the text messages and the emails, explain the money and the touch. I tell him about the door, the anvil of
Beep.
the body against me, the deadbolt, the debilitating fear. And after a long silence,
Beep.
this producer gets up. He circles the desk to his chair and hesitates next to his beloved Strat. He sits down and sighs and folds his small hands into a lazy kind of prayer. I'm so very sorry, kiddo, he says. And then, which department do you want us to move you to? Have you heard the story about the doctor who amputated the wrong leg, leaving the festering appendage intact? Does anyone know his name? I'll send you wherever you want to go.
Beep.
He snaps his fingers. The portal that we have all heard about but haven't seen opens into the shape of a prism and splits Hollywood's red sunset across my face. The producer sizes me up. Will I slip through the scintillating threshold quietly, or will I have to be forced through limb by severed fucking limb? Okay. And so, yeah, about the other 60%, I can't really read because it's all screenplay format. Thank you, guys. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Monica Prince, who teaches activist and performance writing and serves as Director of Africana Studies at Susquehanna University in Pennsylvania. She is the author of Roadmap, which was just released, what day? Like on July 1st. Roadmap, a choreopoem, How to Exterminate the Black Woman, a choreopoem, and Letters from the Other Woman. Her work appears in Wildness, the Missouri Review, the Texas Review, the Rumpus, MadCap Review, American Poetry Journal, and elsewhere. A Pushcart Prize and Best of the Net nominee, obsessed with yoga and maxi skirts, and you should be. Oh, with pockets. Prince writes, teaches, and performs choreopoems across the nation. Goddess. Want your glasses?
Hi, everyone. How are you? Are you good? You feeling good? It's good to see you all. I'm jazzed that you are here. See, I paid attention to the conversation. I got this now. Okay. Who knows what a choreopoem is? Good. About half. I love it. Okay, so a choreopoem is a choreographed series of poems that includes dance, music, live art, parkour, yoga, voiceovers, podcasts, any form of performance media, all rolled up and together and thrown on stage like a play. It was coined by Ntozake Shange in 1975 with her pivotal work for colored girls who've considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. Some of you were probably alive when that happened, or you read it in school. Excellent, wonderful, love it. Okay, so I write choreopoems. I'm a scholar of this work. And so my book, Roadmap, came out just a week ago. Super jazzed. So because it's a choreopoem, there's lots of poems, but there's also lots of group voices. So a couple of my wonderful people are going to be forced to read some stuff. So emotionally prepare yourselves, people. It's going to be great. Okay, so I'm going to start with Belle. Okay, so you're up first, honey. Come here. Okay, so Roadmap focuses on a young Black man named Dorian. He is plucked from the regular world by an ancestral muse named the novelist. And he is basically trying to figure out if it's nature or nurture that's going to guarantee his most likely cause of death, which according to the CDC, Black men aged 15 to 34, their most likely cause of death is homicide. So he's trying to see if it's nature or nurture that's going to determine whether or not he gets murdered. So in this, he interrogates his family tree, and that includes his grandmother, his parents, and his beloved and his offspring. So you hear some stuff, you get introduced to this space, and then you meet his grandmother, who is named Belle. And that part will be read by the stunning and spectacular Monique Alexander. Come on up, honey. Got a microphone, everything looks ready to go.
Does it work?
You know, it does. Okay, so this poem is called Sex Work is Real Work, as we all know. And it begins on the bottom of 7. You got it? Oh. I will read your stage directions and your dancers.
Oh, you want me to
You start.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm wrong. Sorry, it doesn't start on that day.
It's on 8, right?
It's on 8.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing great. I'm sorry. I saw her name and I was like,
I was
where's
going to
the
do
next-
whatever you told me.
Okay, so what happens is everyone exits stage right except for Belle. A dancer enters stage left with a chair and exits stage right. Belle recites and dances using the chair, Janet Jackson style, specifically from the Pleasure Principle video, if you remember. Okay, keep going.
They call me all kinds of things, but you can call me Belle. Named not for the fairy tale, but the simplicity. Beautiful. In French. Every child is named Hope, but we each spell it differently. I'll never meet my grandson. I don't know how they will say his name. I respond to whatever they pay me. I respond to whatever they pay me to be called. I'm supposed to like it. No one really cares if I don't. They care if I can't pretend. Then the violence starts. A hand across the face, teeth puncturing the skin, the snarl of nigger bitch in the air. People still think money lets you own someone. Like a few crumpled bills crushed into my palm, bequeaths you the title of master.
Sex work is real work.
I am no one's slave.
Sex work is real work.
I am no one's property.
Sex work is real work.
I am damn good at what I do. I never told Neil who his father was, but he knows the man was a client, knows someone paid to use me so I could send him to school with clean clothes and a full stomach. Truth be told, I don't know which client he looks like. Their faces all turn to sand after the money is spent. I want you to know, I'm not a sex worker who didn't have a choice. I don't do this because I hate myself. Rather, my legs spread and my back arches and my voice sings because it feels good. And with this skin so black and this body so woman, shouldn't something feel good?
Compared to other women in other professions, prostitution is the one in which women are most likely to be murdered. However, the vast majority of women who enter prostitution leave the trade alive. Keep going.
5 years sober. That's what we say when we stop working. No clients or ads or solicitations. For my colored child, now a man, now chasing his own feel good. I like to believe I did right most of his life. Provided, loved hard, all so he can survive me. I refuse to scream his name in the street, my hands drenched in his blood, his eyes flickering out. I deserve that as his mother. He deserves that as my son to bury me, not vice versa.
Belle stands and crosses the stage. She then runs and jumps onto the chair, tipping it over. As it clatters beneath her, a shotgun blast is heard and she falls to her knees. She leans back onto the floor and breathes slowly.
You know, I don't like this part. It's always a gun. Americans love their guns, love to see holes they made in the bodies of the expendable. But you can't throw me away. I'm a Black woman. I already broke the world.
Thank you. All right, so the show continues from there, and then you meet Dorian's other people. You see him with his polyamorous partners. It's a whole thing. So after that, at the end of that poem, it's called Different. He's like trying to convince one of his partners that he's different than, you know, Drake, basically. But she's like, I don't believe you. And so he's trying to convince her of this thing and fails. And for this part, I need Robert, my husband, is going to play the part of Dorian. I will be playing the part of Aisha, and I need, do you want to do it now? Okay, I need you to play the novelist. Typecast. I think you only have one line.
Okay, I don't
It'll
need
be good. Okay, we're also gonna be like low key on the floor, so like, can I move this?
Yes, yes. Auditory inclusive.
Alex, can I move this?
Inclusion. I was trying to find it. Yes.
Testing 1, 2.
We're talking about how ASO.
Did you want another mic?
Sure. Sure.
37? That's a big one. I'm gonna say 37, but I think it's a lot.
Close. I think 74.
It is
32.
30, no, 37.
37.
Top of 37. Okay. Ready? So you start with your line. Okay, there. Yeah, go ahead.
You are not so base that you cannot control your impulses. Your default is not cheater, is not rapist. It is easy to repeat rape culture like there is nothing to be done about it. Be honest.
I don't want to be monogamous,
Neither do I.
but I also don't want you to be with other people.
That's called a double standard.
I said, be good, colored child.
But
No, you don't get both. No. My time, my love, my body are all just as valuable as yours, magnificent as you may be. I won't keep saying yes. Stay loyal. Remain a wound open for your salty tears. Just because the world beats you for being Black doesn't mean you get to control me for being woman. You want to control someone? I need a hand. Fine. But don't expect love. Don't expect me to stick around and upgrade you while you drain me. Don't expect surrender to grow where you have planted resentment. I'm not a game, Dorian. Do not play me.
I don't want to hurt you.
And what, my love, do you call hurt? Will you read the dancers?
Sure. Black women are more likely to be murdered by their male partners than women of any other race.
Silence never soothes suffering.
Due to cultural norms of masculinity and victimization, many young men of color do not identify as victims, even when describing experiences of being harmed.
I can't help if you don't talk.
Depression typically manifests as an increase in aggressive and reckless behavior in men, especially in Black men, decreasing its likelihood to be diagnosed.
Are you really gonna hurt me?
Within Black communities, depression is a character flaw. Depressed Black men are labeled as weak, So when they exhibit hyper-aggressive behavior, it's not seen as a symptom of depression. Rather, the behavior is dismissed as normal due to racist stereotypes internalized by the Black community.
Dorian. 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 Free to Raven.
Did you get enough to eat?
Pull your pants up, boy.
You can't spend the whole day in bed.
Call me if you need a ride home.
You don't want to end up like cousin Mike, locked up. And for what?
In this house, we don't back down from a fight. Hit him back next time.
No one's gonna love you if you keep acting like that.
Walk in the corner.
You're gonna have to work twice as hard to get half as much as these white folks.
Be safe walking down the street.
Keep your hands out of your pockets.
Where's your wallet? Take it off that chain.
You can't wear hoodies anymore.
I heard a siren, so I want to see where you are.
Repeat our phone number back to me and grandma's. You know who to call, right?
Who's all going to be over there? Nah, not that Malik boy's trouble. I don't want you at this house because I said so.
I'll drive you. I don't want you walking in that neighborhood. You might get lost.
Text me when you get home.
Call me when your plane lands.
You have enough for groceries this week?
We're praying for you down at the church.
The phone works both ways, you know.
Take care of yourself.
Get home safe.
Take care of yourself.
Get home safe.
Take care of yourself.
Get home safe.
Don't
And don't die.
die.
Don't
Don't
die.
die.
Don't die. Don't
Don't
die.
die.
Don't die.
Please just get home in one piece.
You say you're different.
I am. At least I'm trying to be.
I don't want different. I want more than different. I want extraordinary.
Huh. What makes you so damn special?
I'm a metaphor, baby. Beautiful things deserve beautiful things. And I deserve it all. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then I think we're at time. Yes, okay. So this last one, oh, thank you. So this last one is called, what is the name of this stupid poem? The Greatest Good, that's what it's called. Oh my God, okay, don't leave, I need you. Okay. At first, I couldn't tell whether the vibration in my blood came from you. In the mornings, I roll over and my touch always makes you moan. When we met, my whole body went up in flames. I thought everyone in that room would die. You told me.
I want to build something for you.
I had no idea you wanted me to be the stone, mortar, and paint. At first, I couldn't tell whether sex was love, if all my plans to protect myself mattered when I met you. Here's what I know. My life had no elevation until you kissed me. My true north, your body engulfs me, and I let it. I'm prepared to be consumed, to be overwhelmed until I can't move, until I have no choice but to become whatever it is you want me to be. At first, I couldn't tell whether surviving a love that splits my atoms until I am just disjointed matter floating above the bed we share was worth it.
And now?
And now, I know being worthy is not the point. It's choice. And I choose you. I am spectacular, the greatest good. You would be foolish not to worship me.
Like a subject worships his queen.
Like a man worships God.
Terrified and thankful?
Always getting better. Okay, that's it. You have one, you can.
Can we give one more round of applause for Tara, Monica, and Jamie Beth?